Very good. So 4 seconds to go. I guess we're all set. Let's do this. Let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. I always have wonderful weekends when I don't have to come into the studio and work. It's a wonderful weekend. So anyways, especially now with the nice weather that we have, it's pretty awesome. Let me just bring this camera up just a whisker like that. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to do like we always do, right? We're going to go over to the computer. We're going to check out really quickly what we did last Friday, just to refresh our memories, and then we are going to tackle our day from there. So I am also going to bring over my camera that besides being on YouTube, we are also live on Instagram. So I am going to just bring this here for everybody to see what's going on, just like that. And I will switch cameras right now. There we go. So let's check out our quick little recap. And yes, indeed, we did put the details to one of our background plants. And then after that, we put down the first coat of our orange on our planets. And then we added a little bit of details to our vines and to our trees. And that is basically what took us to the weekend. So this was all last Friday's work. And today, what are we going to do? Well, we are going to continue, obviously, on this painting. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do several things. Let me just get this camera out of the friggin' way. There we go. I just got to juggle with 3 cameras at the same time. So I noticed last Friday, I was such in a rush to go home and take the weekend that I forgot to add little details. Like we did on the brown, we added a very dark brown on our burnt sienna. And I wanted to put a light burnt sienna on our lighter part of our plants, and I forgot to do that. So we're going to start off by doing that. Then we are going to add the last plant that goes down in this lower right-hand corner, which I mentioned last week that I would do, and that's why we didn't finish off doing all these plants, because on top of this plant that we're going to do today, there's going to be other flowers and whatnot. And then to finish today, we are going to add, and this is kind of like a minor miracle for me, because I always say that I have to put 2 coats, right? 2 coats of the light blue cerulean, 2 coats of the turquoise green, 2 coats of the purple background, etc., etc. And usually for my orange planets, I have to put 2 coats. But apparently Friday, I put my paint on so thick that actually looks pretty good. You can't see through it. You can't see the brush strokes. So we're going to skip a day and we're going to go right ahead and put the red shadows. So that is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. And so that's basically what we're going to be doing today. So what am I going to do with these cameras? I'm juggling with 3 cameras now because of the Instagram Live, which we added to our YouTube feed. You know, just to add a little more of a challenge, right? So what am I going to do? I said I was going to start off with the light burnt umber to put some more details on my vines and trees. So that's what we're going to do first. Here's a little palette that we used on Friday since it has burnt umber on it. So let me just grab a little bit of that. I don't need that much really. And then we're going to add some white paint to this as well, just to make it really light. So where's my knife? My knife is right here. Let's grab this baby. Can I salvage any of this paint? Yeah, I can. So I'm going to use this first. And I'm going to grab a little bit of white paint here and put it here. And we're going to blend that together to really get a very light little brown umber, burnt umber, just to add like, you barely don't notice it. It almost works on the subconscious. But I just really want to get a little bit of a little light effect on my plants. So let me grab, I guess, any kind of a brush. I'm going to blend these two colors in very quickly. So let me just bring this in like this. I'm just going to be pulling the brown into the white little by little, because this can almost be like white paint, really. I just want to have like a little highlight of sunlight on these vines and trees and whatnot. So what do I have here? This is pretty light. This might be the trick. It's a little thick, so let me see if I can't add just a tad of water so it's not as thick. And then I'm going to just do a little test. Oh, I think this is going to be maybe just a little too light, so I'm going to add just a little bit more of the burnt umber. This looks pretty good. So, before I continue, let me put all my cameras into place, because these cameras that I use to record on YouTube, I use as well to record what I'm doing, so I can, one, do the little recap tomorrow of what we did today, and two, at the end of my painting, to do the little making of the particular painting I'm working on. Just a little 3-4 minute film like that. The people who buy my paintings, they can see actually what went on in the studio and what I did to actually well, do the painting that they bought. So I can zoom in a little bit like that. And now let's I'm going to grab a smaller little brush here. And where am I at? Let me switch cameras, go to camera number 1, and then let's start. So I'm just going to move camera number 1 over a little bit, because I can zoom in and I don't have to be in front of the lens. But with the phone, it's a little more complicated, so I'll just move that over. I don't really like being in front of the lens. So let me try a little bit here to see what this looks like. Oh, and this is going to be just fine. So just a little bit light. Just like that. Doesn't have to be all over the place. Like I said, most people won't even notice it. It's going to work on the subconscious. I'm going to zoom in a little bit again. This is just for the editing of my movie and the recap, because it's so much nicer when you can edit and have lots of different shots, and makes the film more interesting, richer. There we go. I did remember wanting to do this on Friday, and apparently I forgot, which is no big deal. Okay. Let me pull this Camera back a little bit more. Of course, this is going to darken as it dries, which means it will blend in and look even nicer, more discreet. There we go, just have a little shimmer of light. Very good. Okay, so let's move on over to the next set of plants. There are going to be plenty of flowers and plants on top of this, so most of it, a lot of it's going to be hidden. I'll bring this camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe actually even do a major zoom in right in here. Just like that. You can zoom out a little bit now. I've got to remember to move all these cameras around and stuff. as well go all the way down on this guy. I don't know if we'll see this part or not. It doesn't really matter. I have a feeling you won't see this part, so I'm not even going to waste my time going all the way down. So let's bring this all the way back up to the tree area here. Let's continue. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So I'll go up here. I forgot to move the camera. There we go. On here now, let's go zoom to the bottom of this, right down here, which I'm not even sure we'll see once I do the plant, but what the hell. You can always. With the fan on, by the time I get to this, I'm pretty sure it'll be dry. Even if we don't see the whole thing, it doesn't matter. It's just if we can get between two leaves a little glimpse. There we go. Okay. So that takes care of that. So now what's the next step? Well, I guess the next step is to get ready to put in my light green plant in this corner. That's what I'm aiming for next. So I guess I can leave camera number 1 over there. And what am I going to use for green? I have many greens, and I kind of want to go with a light green. So I have this green here, or I have this green here. And of course, these are going to be diluted with white paint to make them lighter. And I'm not exactly sure which one to use. I like them both. I think I'm going to go with this one. When it has the white paint in it, it becomes a little, it changes completely color, and I think it'll blend in nicely with the paintings. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for something that could resemble a palette. So this could do the job. Let me see if I can't scrape the old paint off. I mean, I often show this, but the binder of acrylic paints is a polymer emulsion, which means it doesn't stick to non-porous surfaces like glass or plastic or metal, certain metals, I should say. And then, as you can see right now on this plastic cap, I can just peel it off. And as you can see by the way I'm twisting it, that the binder, this polymer emulsion, is nothing more than plastic, which is pretty good because it gives you a very easy way to get a nice clean palette to continue to work with. Now in the winter time, I can't quite do this as easily. There we go. Look at that, brand new, not a trace of the old paint. So let's get a little bit of this green. Where's my faithful little knife? Where are you, my? There you are. And we'll be adding some white paint to this as well. So I'm gonna just add a drop of water in here, because since we are in the middle of summer, it's a good idea to rehydrate all the paint, because I don't use this every day, and in the summertime it tends to harden. There we go. Give it a little mixing. I probably could even add another little drop of water. It won't hurt it that much. On the contrary, it'll evaporate very quickly, I'm sure. So you can only do it some good. There we go. So that should do it. After all, I don't have that much of a surface to paint. Let me clean off my knife now. And then I'll add some white paint to this so we can make it lighter. I'm trying to think of the name of this green, because this is not the original jar. And it kind of, what was the name? Like philo something maybe? I don't remember. So I'm going to put the white paint on the side, because I'm not sure what's going to overwhelm what. I'm not sure if the green paint is going to overwhelm the white or vice versa. So I'm going to be careful in the mix. Actually, what I'll do is I'll mix this on camera number one. We can do that together here. I'll bring this down like that. There we go. And I guess it doesn't matter to mix these colors together. I can use any paintbrush. So maybe I'll just use this nice fat one. I'll bring the water over here. I will bring this camera over here. I'm not sure you'll be able to see really everything. I'll try to hold it up as much as possible. It's like that. So that's where I need it for my HD cameras. Problem with my telephone, I can't aim it down, so there we go. I got disconnected. I can't swivel my camera downwards, and since it is my phone holding on, I don't want to take too much chances. It would be a major bummer if my phone fell out of the tripod on the floor. So anyways, I'll try to do my best so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to bring in the green right here, and you can see immediately the change of color, right? So let's just keep blending everything in. Hello. Okay. And we'll see what we can come up with, some sort of a light green. Then I'll just keep turning and turning. Make it nice and homogeneous. This is probably the color we're aiming for. Maybe I'll add more white and more green to have a larger quantity. Since it's already on my palette, I might as well blend it all in. Maybe I'll be lucky like with the orange paint and won't have to put 2 coats on. That would be cool. Wouldn't have to save us another day of work. I mean, the strange thing with this paint, or I guess maybe all paints, is that the surface of the paint dries and you can put your hand on it and it won't go on your fingers or anything. But the paint, really, the undercoat is not quite dry yet. That is why, like when you paint your house or something, they say 24 hours to dry, even though you might touch it like an hour later and it feels dry. But actually the whole color changes a little bit as it dries longer. That's why the next day is really the only time you can actually judge on the final color of the paint that you put down, because the paint tends to darken as it dries. It's still a little thick, so I'm adding water here. I'm not mixing any more white or anything, just adding water so it will flow on the canvas. There we go. Get that nice little creamy texture. Get it like some sort of a pudding type thickness. There we go. This looks perfect. So, and I think I'm even actually going to use this paintbrush to start my painting. All I got to do though first is get rid of the excess paint that's on there and get rid of the excess water. There we go. So, I'm ready to go. Let me get the water out of the way. I am going to bring the camera back up here. So we're going to go in this area right here. I can zoom in for that. Just like that. As for this camera here, well, I'm going to move you back for a second because I have a bar stool here, which I'm going to grab right now to sit on while I'm painting, because it's important to be comfortable when you paint. So let's get that together. Let's bring these guys here together as well. Oh, that looks pretty good right there. We'll bring this baby in here as well. Again, I can't really tip the whole thing. All I can do, baby, is just lower one leg down like that. As long as the tripod doesn't tip over forward, that should do it. So, cameras all set. There we go. So I'm a little bit off center here. That's not, here, let's see if this isn't any better. Yes, much better. Okay, so. Let's go to camera number 1 and let's lay this baby down. God, it looks a little thick. Okay, I'm going to try it. We'll see what goes on. Yeah, it is just a little thick, so I'm going to add a little bit of water. There we go. Just going to very quickly get the outlines together. There we go. Very nice.